Yo, you can hear me. You can hear me, Court.
Yeah, I hear you, Bar.
All right. Where you starting?
Yeah, I'm about to start real quick. Just do me a favor and mute your mic for a little bit.
Oh, I got you.
Alright. I just want to set up the introduction. Alright, guys, how y'all doing today? Alright, folks, how y'all doing today? It's gonna be a great podcast. It's gonna be an excellent podcast. But I just gotta say, wait, what in the world is going? Hey, what's going on? What is going on? Hello, PlayStation Nation. We're back. Alright, folks. Y'all heard what the man said. We back. Bar.
Yo, yo, yo.
For the one time, I would like you to reintroduce the Council Podcast.
Oh man, we gonna old school with it.
We
What's good, YouTube? What's up, PlayStation Nation? Council Podcast back with another episode. What are you say?
what was this? We was on episode
This is a
what?
conversational. It's a conversational podcast where we talk about the latest and greatest of PlayStation news. And we bash Xbox a little bit. It's been like 2 years, man.
Bruh, it's been a long time, G. It's been a really, really long time. Actually, hold on. Cause they probably didn't hear. Let me make sure. Cause they probably didn't hear a damn word you said. They probably didn't hear me either. No,
Really?
no. Never mind. I see it on the mic meter now. Oh, but man, it's been a good week, ain't it, Bar?
Oh, it's been an excellent week, man. I'm about to crack this brewski. You're here. You seen it?
I thought we about to hear some for the one
Oh
time.
man. You know what
Out of there. But yeah, what's up, folks? Welcome to the Council Podcast reunion. Right now it's just me and my main man Jay Bari. But as always with Council tradition, we start off with Bari. Give me your introduction and what you've been gaming for the week, sir.
what is good, guys? Your boy Jay Bari, best listener on YouTube. Um, it feels good to be back with my man Court, man. It's been a minute, Even though he comes here and there on the podcast, well, open podcast, but it's been a long time since we did something together like a council podcast. You know what I mean? But what I've been playing, I've been dabbling here and there, like with some old school games. So I've been playing Infamous Second Son over again. I restarted my second playthrough for Tales of Berseria. I'm playing through Spider Man again, as just getting hyped for that. But my full playthrough, I'm doing the Trail series. So I'm playing Trails of Cold Steel 1, and I will be playing Trails of Cold Steel 2 when I'm done. Because I'm almost done with 1, and I'm just gonna play through the series to get hype for part 4 that's coming out later on this year. And yo, Court, my bad, yo. I don't know. You probably have this in one of your topics, yo, but I know you saw the news. I know you saw the
Hey,
news. What's coming?
Yeah, your 13 Sentinels.
Yeah, man. September 8th, yo. Yeah.
Whew, they trying to pack it out for the new systems drop.
So
I
yo,
see.
they trying to have us not buy. New systems. All
Bruh.
these games coming out.
But man, it is great to have you on the podcast, Barry. And me myself, I'm Stealth Guy Gaming, long time member of what was the Accounts podcast. This is a one time thing. We just come back together because PlayStation made us feel some type of way this week. Made us all happily and giggly inside. You know. So
Fact.
what have I been playing this week? A little bit of usual GT Sport. Been dabbling a little bit in the Spider-Man. I was dabbling in the Spider-Man before they even showed Spider-Man, but now I'm gonna really go back to Spider-Man because they got me hyped. Um, got just played a little bit of the Halo 3 beta on PC since they're about to drop that soon. Since I can actually talk about that, they kind of making that public anyway. Played Destroy All Humans remake or remastered demo and Desperados 3. Other than that, it's just been kind of normal, honestly. Just a
Oh, I was
little.
playing Minecraft Dungeon too. Play a little bit of that.
How is that actually?
It's not that bad. It seems like a it's a shell of a game, but there's fun to be had with it.
Yeah.
They do put a lot of enemies at you from what I was playing, and it does have the online portion to it. I never played it online. I just streamed it for a little bit for like probably like 45 minutes, but it was pretty all right. I was doing mouse and keyboard too, man, playing with mouse and keyboard. So
Oh snap! Barry has ascended just for a little bit out of the
I mean,
controller.
listen, yeah, I could do what it do, man. It's just I just prefer the controller, but if
Yeah.
if I have to play on the mouse and keyboard, I can do it.
No, no. Look, it's definitely understandable. But we gonna get to one of the good topics, and one of the good topics for the week before we get to the main topic, which is the PlayStation 5 reveal. We had the reviews for The Last of Us 2 drop. And I thought yesterday was bad enough with all, everything trending on Twitter being just PlayStation, PlayStation, PlayStation.
Word.
But today, but today was another glorious day. And I kind of set up my alarm to wake me up at 3 o'clock this morning, but then I overslept. Like, I was going to go to Metacritic just to see, but then it was like, I'm going back to sleep. I was like, you know what? I'll see what the chaos is in the morning. I ain't worried about it. So then all of a sudden, I wake up, do my normal routine, cook for my girls, cook for the wife, drink me some coffee, and that's after I did all my toiletries in the morning like I usually do, letting the dog out, whatever. Went on Twitter. Bam! Chaos already ensuing. I'm like, oh my god. I seen that 96 and I was like, whoo, somebody is pissed right now. That was all about, oh, this game is SJW and it leaks and that. I was like, oh
I'm not
no.
gonna buy this game
Yeah,
because of this.
I was like, bruh, y'all literally set y'allselves up for this, and I'm just glad it happened. But it was so freaking funny to see it happen the way it did, though. And you could probably go with me on this, Barry. Like, we already expected what it was gonna be. Um, Naughty Dog is just known for being Naughty Dog. They're not. When it comes to their games, they make quality games despite what anybody says. So for a second that even people could think, oh, this game is gonna tank because XYZ and this is SJW and we ain't da 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 da. I'm like, bro, y'all can hang that all up because that is not gonna happen at all. So it. So my main thing is, what did you think about the reviews overall? Just overall, were they in line with what you expected?
I you know what the funny thing about the reviews is that normally I don't really care for reviews, but I just play along, with the, all right, everybody talking about reviews, how we used to do in the council podcast and all that stuff. Normally we don't really care. We interested in the game, we gonna do what we gotta do anyway.
Yeah.
But I did feel that this game was being, picked on, and it definitely had an agenda that people wanted to push, where they didn't want freedom of creation to be happening here with Naughty Dog for some strange reason. So I thought that the game is going to be in the 90s, but in the low 90s. So I went with like a 93, 94, more leaning towards like a 93.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing that you got a 96 is like typically where a Last of Us pretty much is supposed to be anyway. You know what I mean? Um, so I'm not really surprised by it, but I'm more surprised that I felt like people where people was talking about these leaks and all that stuff, which I don't know the leaks.
Yeah.
They was gonna attack this game hard, but Naughty Dog is just, I mean, like they're the best in their craft, where there's gonna be all this type of hoopla, but end of the day, what Neil Druckmann, what everybody's saying, it's a video game. You got to play it. It's interactive. How does it feel? How does it, the mechanics are? Does it feel good? Is the story good? And overall, it's looking like, according to all the critics, that this game is a smashing hit. This is a masterpiece. You know what I mean? So, shout out to Naughty Dog, and the work that they put out there, because they put out great work. It's undeniable, man. Like they've been doing this for years. You know what I mean? Where since PS3, they've been doing this. Where if you want to go technically PS1, but I think when the PS3 hit, that's when they hit their strive.
Most definitely, most definitely, and it's. I guess with me, I kind of had a expectation of around. I knew it was gonna be in the 90s. I just didn't know where. Cause most time with sequels, it's either going to be, it's gonna be hit or miss, just depending. But everything leading up to what before they actually showed us these little deep dives and all this other stuff in the weekly showings, it became really clear. I was like, this is gonna be an entirely different beast. Like the fact that people are excited to have a jump button, it was just like it's weird to me, but at the same time, I was like, it's fitting of what they're trying to do with this game because Ellie is more agile than Joel. So you expect the younger person to be able to jump, dodge, and all this other stuff. Like, and plus, I think it was also. I'm not gonna say it was a limitation of the older hardware, because I mean, games on the older hardware they had jump buttons, but I think the gameplay at the time, it just didn't seem like you would need a jump button for anything, if you know what I
It
mean.
wasn't it wasn't warranted
Yeah,
outside of certain areas. Like when you was like traversing in certain areas. When you hold the run button, then you press X. You did jump, but you don't have like a free jump button like how you gonna have in this game.
yeah.
That's
It,
just what it is.
but I think whenever they did do all the deep dives and they show, hey, a lot of encounters can be taken certain ways because as much as The Last of Us 1 was a great game, there was only so many ways you could actually attack certain encounters. Like, yeah, you could stealth through, but you had to make sure you had enough bottles and especially when you dealt with like clickers and stuff. Because they would always set it up to where when you were trying to get out, you would make some damn noise to alert every single damn one of them in that area. So I think with this, they're trying to open it up a little bit to where you don't have to have that one solution to getting around something. Like if you want to go vertical, you can go vertical, but you might face some other challenges. So we'll see.
It's kind of like I remember when I was playing Uncharted 4, and like the previous games, you can it's not really stealthy, but you have similar you got not similar, but you have small little mechanics where you can do a little stuff before you get into big action.
Yeah,
But with Uncharted 4, they open it up more. You have more versatility. do what you have to do. You have more options to do what you have to do. So it's like Naughty Dog doing the same thing with The Last of Us Part Two, and it's that whole stuffing in the grass just makes perfect sense.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
With the game, so
to where you're not completely invisible just because you're in tall grass, which even though a lot of people say, "Oh, it's a game," it's just a mechanical game. It's always been one of those things. Like it, it even bothered me with Assassin's Creed because they were the king of hide in the grass and
the
person,
grassy completely.
yeah, person walk right in front of you, right beside you, until they make contact with you. Then it's like, "Oh my God, he's here!" That type of stuff. It's like,
Or they got to be on high alert.
yeah,
Like I
it,
felt the people that did it right was Metal Gear Solid. Like yeah, you're in the grass, yeah, all that stuff, but uh, you are if they're on high alert, they're gonna notice you. You know what I mean?
yeah, like they would actually take time to look at those cardboard boxes instead of just walking past them. They were like, "Oh well, he's known to be hiding in cardboard boxes, so let me investigate these cardboard boxes because this one looks kind of odd." But
Hmm.
I'm also surprised that we didn't get those super oddball scores of like, "Oh, we're gonna give this a 50," or "We're gonna give this a
We
40."
we got close to it.
Yeah, we got close, but we didn't have just like that. Did this person even play the game? Like what did they do? Because this ain't lining up with what nobody else is saying right now.
Uh, there's a few that like I was reading some of the previews where it had like it's the violence is ridiculous or it's too much violence. That's the biggest complaint I see that people are trying to put out there. Oh,
Yeah,
it's too violent, it's too brutal. And I'm just like, what? Come on, man.
yeah, and and on your podcast earlier, it was so funny. And shout out to everybody that was there on the podcast earlier.
Mm.
We had the discussion about that one little comment, and it's like I get why somebody might feel uncomfortable with what they're doing in that game because they weren't pulling any punches. That is one thing I can definitely say for sure. They were not pulling any punches when it came to the death. You stab somebody in the throat, you hearing the gurgle and everything else. So, and that's the thing. You were never supposed to be comfortable with death, honestly, or killing somebody. And I think,
Even with the last game, it
yeah,
was kind of like that because I remember choking out somebody in the Last of Us Part One, yo, and I felt like, yo, that was real surreal. Like the way how they was gasping, the way that was it was touching you, it
hmm,
felt real. Like what I mean, like I'm really feeling somebody out right now. You know what I mean?
right.
So I'm
And
not surprised with Part Two.
oh, I'm not surprised at all. But it's just the fact that people would even consider that a negative. And it's like, okay, but that's kind of just part of that world. Like people die in really really bad ways. It's almost like watching The Walking Dead and then getting upset because Glenn got his head smashed in. It's like
Yeah.
the world is brutal. They don't pull any punches just because this offends. That's just the world that you live in. Like that is the world that these characters have been in. I know for Joel over 20 years, ever since the outbreak first began, and for Ellie, she was born into it. So for me, it's more so okay. Everybody that's born into that world, all they know is death and fighting for survival. Everybody else,
But Ellie's a good person.
yeah, and that was the thing. I was like, Ellie was never. I mean, when you first seen Ellie, she was ready to go on site.
she's ready to slit your throat.
Like soon you walked in with Marlene into that little hideout, she was ready to go on site. She was about to hit somebody upside the head. She was ready to go.
Like,
But
who are you?
yeah, but I'm like, when you sit there and say she's a good person, I'm like, what is good in a world where everything is chaos? Like, what is really morally good? Like, what's good for you might not be good for everybody else. That's just good for you.
Hmm.
What might be the motivation of the person that you're going against? They might view themselves as good because they're out here just trying to do what they got to do to survive. So they was like, it's either me or you.
I just find it funny when it comes to some of these reviewers and they talking about violence and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is that I went back all the way to 2016 where they had a panel at PSX and Neil Druckmann and Ashley Johnson and everybody, it was laying out the story of the game and how this is a story of hatred. This is going to be a very violent game. Some people's going to be cringing, some people's going to be, but they want you to feel, the emphasis of like she being like, angry. She's have all this malice and hate. I mean, for whatever have done, whoever has done whatever to these people. You know what I mean? So I find it really shocking that people are just coming out surprised, like, oh, they turned Ellie into a bad person or whatever. What I'm reading, I'm like, yo, you didn't listen to the band before we saw even a trailer out. I think we saw like a little teaser when they did that little panel at that PSX.
Yeah, I
You
think.
know what I mean? So it's kind of
Yeah,
funny how
yeah, because I was like, we were. I just don't know why people had this high and mighty viewpoint of Ellie when I was like, this ain't that type of game, Chief. It just ain't. Like, I get it. I get why y'all might feel like that, but that ain't this game. Like, you can say what you want to say, but it ain't it. Um.
I mean, we ain't got that much time to wait. You know what I mean?
Oh
We
no.
we we almost here.
Yeah. It is right next next week. I'm actually waiting on Amazon to send me the confirmation of when they're gonna ship it out. So
You got the collectors or you got the regular or what you got?
I went and got the collectors.
Or they went back up. Amazon?
Well, they actually did have some of the collector edition go back up, which
I got it through Best Buy.
so I was
It's
kind of surprised at that, even though everybody was like, I'm
probably
canceling.
gonna get it late.
Yeah.
Yo, I was one of those fools. I was one of those fools. Yo, I had the collectors and I had the Ellie edition secured. What's it called? GameStop.
Yeah.
But I wasn't liking how PlayStation was moving. I was like, yo, you putting these games on PC. Why
Oh
am I
yeah.
going? Why am I
Yeah.
going so hard for, what I mean? For games like double dipping for, you know what I mean? Like, you gonna put this on PC later. That's it. That's your whole lingo, right? Oh, why you care about a 3 year? I didn't like how it was responding. It was real disrespectful to the PlayStation Nation. So I was like, yo, forgot it here, man. I'm gonna cancel these pre-orders. But when I saw that last trailer, and then when I saw no, I wanted to get the collectors back when I saw the trailer that they put out,
Mhm.
the dark one. I was like, yo, I'm getting that Last of Us vibe back again, man. But I went real hard when they put out the gameplay. Um before the state of play.
Yeah.
That was what 2 weeks ago. It was
Uh.
definitely. A matter
Yeah.
of fact, it was right after the state of play because that's when I got it. I got it right after the state of play. Best Buy. I was sold right there.
Oh yeah, but cause I had to go on Amazon just to make sure, cause I was like, did I get the collector's edition or just the special edition? You know, cause I was like, let me go make sure, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, since September such and such 2019, you had this just sitting, waiting, ready to go. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I'll be getting my Ellie statue sometime next week.
Yeah, they all unavailable again.
Yeah.
And funny, yo, Amazon they be price gouging
Oh,
because the controller is selling for like
bro.
$188. Console itself is selling for 800 and something dollars.
I look, I was up there tripping because I was up there looking for a controller, and luckily this week I'll be going to one of my sites that's close to a Best Buy, so I'm gonna just swing by there and just pick up a damn controller. I'm not ordering nothing. I'm not getting it shipped because everywhere I see people trying to price gouge the hell out of a control. I'm like, bruh, it's a controller. I get it and I understand it. But I'm not gonna pay no damn $100 for just no standard controller. I don't care what is on
Yeah.
it.
As tempted as I am, I definitely want to get like multiple dual senses. So I ain't gonna buy no new controller right now.
But
It would have to be like some crazy, I don't know, Fantasy Seven special. It has to be something like that for me to be like, all right, bro, I cave.
yeah. So that was part one. So now, since we got one of the last two big games out of the way, or about to, we got Ghost coming up. So if you had to put a Metacritic rating on Ghost, what would you put it at?
Mm, I'm gonna put Ghost at a 91.
91. Not.
I'm feeling cocky right now. I'm putting it at a 91, yo.
All right. Okay. Not a 91 for a whole new IP from a
New IP.
from a respected developer. So their first little foray into going into something like this, but I can respect that. Um, for me, I'm feeling more so along the lines of I got a feeling it's gonna hit like a 87 or an 88. I don't know
80,
why.
87 to 98 or 88.
No, 88.
Okay.
I'm just feeling somewhere in the high 80s and maybe squeaking a 90. But I don't know. It's just
I think this game is gonna do things outside of the sucker punch, boundaries.
yeah.
Where people can just like, oh, it's sucker punch game. I mean, because they do this, then this game is gonna be new enough, so it's definitely gonna be hitting people, where it needs to hit people as far as like, oh, this is a new IP that's refreshing. You know what I mean? So
All
we'll
right.
definitely see.
I mean, we will see because that'll be my last collector's edition for this gen.
Yeah, that's on deck too. I ain't cancel that.
Oh no, I don't think anybody canceled that because it didn't have any controversy behind it. But yeah, that'll be
That not even that like even though Last of Us is reviewing great, I like the Last of Us, but I'm more hyped for Ghost of Tsushima because it's just more of my style. You know what I mean? As far as what I would play.
well. And
I,
plus,
I
it's
love the Last of Us. Don't get it twisted. I
oh
love
no,
that game.
no. I'm never gonna get it twisted on that because I know how you are, and like the Last of Us, everybody out we mess with or deal with in gaming, they like The Last of Us. So we got their respect for The Last of Us, but it's like you got something new coming with Ghost. So you got something that could potentially be another, IP for Sucker Punch to work on outside of Infamous.
Yeah.
'Cause we know they're probably gonna do another Infamous, more than likely. I would hope they would do another Infamous.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Or if they don't do it, they go and bring back Infamous one or two. I'm more. Eh, in fact, I'll say, hey, bring both of them back if y'all wanted to for next gen,
Yeah, they could set it up. They could be like, I Infamous 1 and 2 remaster,
and then bring
and then Second Son is gonna be a backwards compat game.
yeah,
I
enhanced
mean, so
five
you're gonna
PS5 features and all that good stuff.
yeah,
But
they
now,
definitely can do it.
oh, let's see, because now we're coming to the good part, and I know you were definitely excited about this when I tagged you on Twitter. 13 Sentinels.
Oh yeah, man.
They finally gave that damn release date, and
It felt like a decade waiting for that.
bruh, I it was so funny because I was like, because Twitch they were like, they were up there like, oh, we got an announcement to make, and I was like, y'all could have just made that a tweet. I don't know why we had to go watch it on Twitch and go through all that other stuff just to see that. But I digress. I'm glad y'all finally gave us a date because that game has been out in Japan for almost 2 damn years now, if I'm not mistaken.
They've been out of Japan for a minute.
Yeah, so it's like, bruh, we don't got more Yakuza's over here than we got, that game. So we've been waiting for a minute, and now I'm just thinking, okay, they're releasing this later on in the gen when everybody's kind of prepping for the PS5 launch. I honestly don't think it's going to affect anything with them releasing it because the people that's going to want it are going to buy it regardless. And I know if they make everything, playable on the PS5, at least day one or anything recent, then we're probably just going to play it on our damn PS5s anyway.
That's the thing about what Vanillaware.
Hmm.
They always come out with a game like late in the generation. PS2 it happened. PS3 it happened with Dragon's Crown.
Yeah.
PS4 13 Sentinels. So uh, one of my favorite games like is Odin Sphere. So what I mean. I'm really excited for this game right here. If you guys are interested, you definitely should look into 13 Sentinels. It's gonna be a cool game, man. Cool story. Vanillaware is known for their cool stories, known for their cool, like battle systems,
I'm gonna
and
say
known for like their artwork and all that. It's really cool.
I'm gonna say I can't think of a bad Vanillaware game, honestly. Like not one. I mean, 'cause they all kind of fit into that mold of you have what was the samurai one?
You talking about
I can't think.
PS1?
No, it was one that they had it on the Vita. They had it on the. I think it was on the Wii.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The name is right on the tip of my tongue
Yeah,
too.
I
I
can't.
used to play the shit out of that game too.
Oh, Muramasa. Yeah,
And more muscle.
you
Yeah,
had
yeah, yeah. Yep.
Muramasa. Everybody because we had This was the funny thing. We had Dragon's Crown on the PlayStation side. Nintendo had Muramasa. So it was like, dang, I really want to play Muramasa. Then you have people over here talking about we want to play Dragon's Crown, and all of a sudden it's like, oh well, we got Muramasa on the Vita now, which I actually want to go back and play that again because that was a really expertly crafted game.
The Muramasa was good, but it was definitely shortcuts with it,
Oh
like
yeah,
compared to like a game like Odin Sphere and all that. But it was a cool game.
yeah. Then of course we got Odin Spear back, which we haven't had an Odin Spear since PS2. I think we had like the digital. Whenever they had PS3, they brought the digital version. But as far as
Like
actually,
not like I said, every Vanillaware game has came out late in the generation.
yeah,
Odin Sphere, if I remember correctly, came out like 2007. PS3 was already out. Because I remember PS3 already being out, and I
mm,
was playing the shit out that game on the PS2. You
oh yeah,
know what I mean? Dragon's Crown came out 2013.
it was right there on the ass end of
Yeah, it was like the end. It was like the end of PS3. I know that for sure.
because it
You know what I
also
mean?
came out on the Vita as well.
It came out. It was that matter of fact that wasn't that cross by.
Yeah,
Because
like
we got the pro version for free or something like that, right?
yeah. Because I remember when I bought it
No, it
on
was cross by with PS. It's
what
cross by PS3 and PS Vita.
yeah, because I went and bought like the physical PS Vita version because because they had put out the PS3 version, then they were like, okay, we're gonna wait a while, then they put it on the Vita. So
Yeah, because there was crossplay with it too.
yeah.
If you was playing online, you could play Vita and PS3 players.
But I'm I'm just hoping because what else is coming out around that time? The 13 Sentinels is coming out.
Cyberpunk. in September, right?
Yeah,
Most likely Assassin's Creed gonna come around then.
yeah.
It's gonna be some heavy hitters coming around then.
Yeah,
Trust.
it just felt weird because hell, Yakuza 7 is dropping around then too. So it's like,
Yakuza 7 is gonna be a launch title. Well, no, it's gonna come out this. Oh, it's not a launch title for the next gen. It's gonna come out before, but
yeah,
it's gonna be available, across through backwards compatible.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Which I'm already sealed up on that as far as if I want to just keep playing the Japanese version, which I actually need to go back playing that damn game again. Cause if you like Dragon Quest, you'll like Yakuza 7. That's all I gotta say.
You was playing that like a year ago.
Well, no, no,
It seemed like a few months ago you was
yeah, I
playing
was
that. I'm
playing it
sorry.
earlier this year, and I might actually start streaming it again. Cause I had just hit where the triads and the Yakuza were.
It definitely gonna copyright you, man. Don't
Nah,
learn with them games, man. The Yakuza games,
look, look,
certain games though, you just don't
look.
stream, bro.
I learned. What was that? I learned from Persona 5. God damn, Persona
Um,
5 pissed me off so damn much.
I sat down here and I warned you too. I said, "Your court don't stream that damn game." Yo, you where they want to stream it?
I did. And that's the thing, like they hadn't hit me up with nothing Yakuza, so that's unless it was like some licensed song in there. But
Funny. I wanted to stream Tales of Berseria because I already beat the game. I know pretty much what I got to do.
yeah.
Know some of the secrets already. I just wanted to show that. But then when I was playing it, I was like, oh, let me share this screenshot of Tales real quick. Blocked from sharing a screenshot, blocked from sharing a
Oh
video. I was
yeah.
like, oh yeah, I remember now. I ain't gonna stream this. No capture card being used here. I know you, Bandai.
Yeah, Bandai is. Oh man, that's why I hate doing Gundam games. I definitely learned my lesson off of them. Like if they got
So
any,
I
eh,
uploaded a cell phone version of Gundam Versus. That got hit quick before I even put it public.
they were like, nope.
I ain't even put the jump public. It's like nope.
Yeah, I remember I posted one they had like, I think it was the soundtrack from Iron Blooded Orphans and something else, and all of a sudden it was like blink blink. Yeah, we can't have you having that on this. I was like, damn. So, but I will say I would definitely, and this is gonna segue into the last little topic we got with the whole PS5 reveal. I want to see a damn Gundam game next gen.
Oh man,
And I'm not talking about, the Versus series, which I love the Versus series. I'm not talking about the SD Gundam, even though they're good. I'm talking about a legit, and definitely not no Dynasty Warriors Gundam or anything in that
yeah.
nature. I want an actual story based Gundam. Like, you're in the damn cockpit going
You got
through.
story beats going
Yeah.
on in the game. Yeah, that would be sick. That,
But,
that right there, I would take, and I would take a Transformers, man. Like,
oh,
I know Transformers already got their story games, but I want somebody that really, really cares about Transform. The War of Cybertron series, those were good, but
hmm.
I want it even more upscale than that. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
I want a good Transformers game.
And I mean, with all this, seamless technology that they got going on now, especially with the PS5, I don't see why we couldn't get these games now. I mean, cause
Or
I'm,
like a GI Joe game, that would be fire, yo. Like go back to the '80s, man,
yeah, like
and
you
bring these franchises back, yo. You got all this power now. You can put the game where you want to do now. I mean, so
exactly. There is zero excuses. So, with that being said, cause I'm not gonna go through every game,
mm,
um, because some games people don't care about, but we're gonna go through some of what I would call the heavy hitters of the show.
boom blaps.
The ones that will make you say, okay, I need to go get me a PS5 for this.
Mm-hmm.
So outside of the multiplats, which
The
we
ones where you're gonna be on your best behavior the month before that PS5
right,
hit.
right, right. Cause funny enough, this is so funny, Bar. I was sitting here just reviewing the videos and just catching all the information I could before, like way before we even got into the first podcast. And my wife comes in, she's talking to me saying what she's gonna do for the day. Then all of a sudden, the PlayStation 5 pops up on the screen. And she just out of nowhere says, "It better not be no PlayStation 5 coming in this house." I was like, "Huh?"
Oh nah, she know what she doing.
I was like, "What?" Like, what you mean? And she was like, "Yeah, my friend that's a gamer told me it's gonna be such and such price." I'm like, ma'am, they ain't announced no price for this thing. They just going off of speculation of what popped up on Amazon. We know how they ain't put no official price on nothing.
Oh, Play Asia smart too. They got a pre-orders up. They got
Hmm.
that jump for $700.
Yeah.
They're wilding. They
So
know America going just gonna do it.
yeah. Oh yeah. We just gonna be like, hey, we'll go and put that money down. Gonna secure us one. Okay. So we started off with Spider-Man, Miles Morales. That was. I'm not gonna say it was the God of War moment, but it was almost the God of War moment. Cause
It was for me.
it
That's
kind of,
that's that's
yeah.
one of my favorite games this gen. Like I like that game more than God of War,
But
the
I
Spider Man's.
and why I say this because you remember when they did God of War, they ended it on something big. So I was like, okay,
Okay.
if they're starting off with Spider Man, what are they gonna end this show with? You know what I'm saying. So with them doing Miles Morales, and with the time frame that they're putting this game out, because Spider Man would have been out what 2 years now by the time this game comes out.
Yep.
I'm thinking more so that everything that they had on the PS4 version, they had assets that were definitely higher than what we were shown on the PS4 version. Because if everybody that's played Spider-Man know that game was highly detailed, especially on the character model. Like the suit detail was astronomical. So if they already had a base when they did the whole 2 year time frame, I'm like, okay, all you got to do is really put a story together, get his abilities down, and get an upgrade system implemented. The world is already there. You probably already had the suit in hand and fleshed out. So all you got to do is just make the story for Miles and what he would have to go through. So on a scale of 1 to 10, which I probably already know is going to be 1,000, where
Already know, man.
where would you put this on the conference? Like, is gonna be your game of the show for the whole conference, or was it outshined by something else?
Well, it's gonna be the surprise of the conference. I wouldn't say game of the conference because we didn't really see like so much of gameplay. We saw that he has his abilities and stuff like that, like his
Mm-hmm.
Venom Strike, his invisibility stuff. But we swinging here and there. But we'll definitely have to see like another little story trailer, showing a little gameplay. Then I'll judge it from there. But as far as like the game that I was just like, oh wow, like I called it. I said Spider Man was gonna be there, but not knowing that it was gonna do like a Miles Morales standalone,
Yeah,
which makes sense, within the whole Spider Man, universe that Sony's doing over there. So that was definitely surprising
and I think
for me.
I agree with you on that, bar, because I was expecting, if they wanted to actually show the power of the PlayStation 5, which they showed to developers as far as the loading times with Spider-Man, I was like, okay, so it's a perfect time for us to see that result, actually.
Yeah, we
And
don't see it now.
so instead of that, they went one step ahead and they was like, okay, if y'all want to see the result, let's just make a whole game that kind of segues or connects into the next game, because we know that's what it's going to do. But who do you think, if you just had to pick a villain for Miles to go against, who do you think he is going to go against?
Mm. Oh, Miles Morales to go against, huh? That's gonna be a goodie. I'm like I would like to go comic book, but I'm gonna throw a whammy in there, right? I'm gonna throw a double whammy just because of the game, right?
All right.
Um, this is based off of the game. I feel that we're gonna see the Wraith
Uh,
within this Miles Morales build up as far as him being his own hero. Or, Captain
yeah,
Watanabe.
yeah, yeah.
If you guys don't know, she becomes a wraith. But as you can see, she was going to this vengeance spree where she's building up, where she's not a cop anymore, and she goes like to become this vigilante. It's kind of like a bad guy. So I do feel right.
All right.
So we obviously know it's leading up to that. We're going to see Mysterio.
Hey.
We're going to see my man Quentin Beck himself as as probably the main bad guy in this story. I feel because if they want to tie over what's going on from Spider-Man 1 to 2, and they just building Miles Morales up as far as like, all right, you're a superhero. Here's your own, be your own Spider-Man. You got to prove it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's plenty of venom. I feel like they're gonna have Mysterio getting up with the Wraith. So the Wraith is gonna be prepped up for part two. As the bad guy. Because that's what I was gonna say for Spider-Man 2, but I'm like, oh, you wanna have your own Miles. That'd be smart to have him in there because Miles do fight Quentin Beck.
Mm-hmm.
He could probably have Green Goblin in there as well. Just like a little fight with him.
And that
And all that.
and that's what I was gonna get into, cause it seemed like, to me, I think I got a feeling Screwball is gonna make a return. Not be the main, but it's gonna be Screwball is gonna have some little play in this.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like, especially getting towards the end of the game, somehow, some way, Harry is gonna get out,
Mhm.
and and I don't know who I could say would be the villain, but it's gonna have to be. It could be Mysterio, but I'm also thinking, what if they try to do some multiverse thing, some way, somehow? Even though I don't know why if they would do it, but I want to say they might try to slightly introduce Green Goblin.
Yeah, I feel like Green Goblin is definitely going to have a cameo there. There's definitely going to be like, in my opinion, going to be like smaller, bad guys. There's dudes like, this would be a smart dude to have in there. Like, remember this dude that Miles used to fight with Spider Man as well in what's called his name was like he's a big dude, kind of like Bane, kind of
Uh,
Bruiser,
yeah, okay,
Bruiser.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a small time villain, but he's known, but he's not like the levels of like Green Goblin. But you can introduce villains like that. You know what I mean? As it build up, because I doubt there's going to be like one villain in there. There's going to be multiple villains in there.
Oh no,
Um,
I would highly doubt they would just do the one villain, especially since you know how they did with the base game of Spider-Man. They
mhm.
had, Scorpion, Rhino, Vulture, Electro, Shocker. Like, it was literally the Sinister Six just out and about, and you literally had to go take them down, along with Doctor
You might
Octavius.
you might
And
get you might get Hobgoblin as well, man. If you want to go Green Goblin, you got to have the Hob in there.
yeah,
I mean, my man in there. So we'll
so
see.
for all intents and purposes, we already know that's gonna be your day one game to get on the PlayStation 5.
Oh yeah, I'm yeah. Listen, I don't play around when it comes to Spider Man, man. I love Spider Man. I go Ghost a little bit, and I go fully Ghost. But I'm definitely gonna have to get that game played. before anything. You know what I mean? Because got Godfall and we got that, but I'm definitely gonna be playing that before Godfall for sure.
Yeah. So now we go to the second game they showed, which was GT7. Anybody that follows me knows how I feel about Gran Turismo, and I just want your take on it because I know you're not too much in the sim racing. But how did you
Mhm.
actually feel about what they showed?
I like what they showed, man, for GT because even though if it was in 1080p 30 frames, it's just the things I was looking at, like the lighting, the reflections, the shadows, the god rays, you know what I mean, the environments. I was looking at all of that, and one thing I noticed as well, and in that cockpit view, you can't really like glance out too much under the environment, but the parts that you can glance out on, the level of detail was just like it's no more like those low ass res,
Trees
level
and
of
stuff.
details, trees, like everything's look crisp and clean. I was just like, wow, man, they really kicked it up. And then later they had it like in 1080p 60. So I
Hmm.
was watching it that after the show. Today I watch it in 4K 60 and I was like, bruh. I was like, bruh, this joint, yeah, like every little thing that I noticed, it just got enhanced like 100 times more. And you know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like, I was like, yo, ray trace or whatever y'all want to call it, man. Yo, I'm a believer now, man. Yo, because Gran Turismo, the detail is uncanny, bro. It's crazy.
Oh, it was stupid crazy because if anybody could tell you, and I know Sick muted me whenever I was on this podcast because I was going ballistic when they showed it. But I was in the PlayStation party chat with Vic and everybody else, and they know I was going ballistic. My kids were going ballistic with me, but I'm sitting there looking at the detail. And of course, if anybody wants to know what car was at the beginning of that trailer that they showed the inside of, that was the 2015 Ford GT. That is Kazunori's favorite car. That whole GT line is his favorite series of cars. So he makes sure to put that on Front Street. But what I was noticing was in the cockpit, everything, because I play GT Sport religiously, so it's little things that I picked up. The models of the cars that they have, I already figured they were going to just transfer models from one game to the next, because why would you sit there and rebuild cars when you already had cars that were modeled out pretty detailed anyway? All you got to do is just refine them a little bit more for newer hardware. And when I seen the sun hit the dashboard and you could actually tell that the dashboard wasn't just like a plastic, it was kind of like cloth, or
Real.
like you could see just the individual fibers. And then you're looking on the steering wheel, I'm looking at the Mazda logo, and you can see reflections in the Mazda logo. You can see reflections on his gloves on the Puma, because the Puma was shiny, but his gloves are just matte. And on the Puma, you could actually see the reflection of the sunlight and certain details in the area. And I was like, bruh, you
Crazy.
didn't even have to do this. Why are you going this crazy on? Like that's just like little details I wouldn't pay attention to when I'm racing because I'm looking at where I'm supposed to turn and where I'm supposed to brake.
Yeah, but those things you're gonna pay attention to, like at a reveal. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like the first initial playthrough, you're gonna be looking at all that detail and all that. So
but I think the biggest thing for me and a lot of people in the Gran Turismo community right now, they're bringing back everything that people wanted with Gran Turismo Sport. They're bringing it back with GT7, and that's actually a fully fleshed out career, pretty much. So now you can go back to the used car dealerships, buy your used cars, take this little clunker of a $5,000 car, slap some parts on it, and go racing.
it was a funny thing that was the thing he mentioned. Is like there's so much detail I want to share, but You guys gonna be happy that we got careers.
Yeah,
That was the first thing for that shit.
yeah, like cause that was one of the big things about GT Sport that a lot of people didn't like is that it didn't have a traditional. You can take your car and pretty much build your car from this stock 300 horsepower car to this 600 horsepower monster made for going on track and racing against actual race cars. But I'm just happy that they're going back to that in a sense that I haven't played a traditional GT since GT5 because I felt like GT6 was just too close to when GT5 launches. Because like you usually have a couple of years or span of years before you get another Gran Turismo. And when GT5 came out, GT6 just seemed like it was too damn soon. Plus, it was coming out around the time that the PlayStation 4 was coming out, and I was like, yeah, I kind of wish they would have pushed GT6 back and put that out on the PlayStation 4. But hey, it is what it is. I still enjoy sport. For me personally, that was my game of the show. Even though I know we're gonna be a couple of years still getting that
I don't
because
think we're gonna wait that long.
I
I
give
know,
it.
I know they ain't mentioned launch,
Yeah,
but
they.
if
I
you notice, I think everything that they shown, the first three games that they shown, those are those are launch window games.
Yeah,
And if I'm gonna guess, I think Gran Turismo is gonna be a launch. If it doesn't launch, it's gonna be probably like the month later or something like that. Because they're not scared to drop that joint in December.
oh
But
no
we
no
seen
no.
that with Gran Turismo 6. Look how late they dropped Gran Turismo Sport.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So
I if I was just a bet man and this is just a safe bet, I don't feel like it's gonna be like a day one or even like a month. I'll put it summer of 21. That's just me. If I'm being safe, if I'm being the radical me, I say that motherfucker better be day one. But I already know.
I don't think that's radical because let's look at the gameplay that you already getting. They already showing you like, yo, we got this thing fully cooked. We showing you that. Look at all the menus that's gonna be in here. The way you're gonna have your campaign, your garages, everything's gonna be there, like in a typical Gran Turismo game. And then right after they did that, it was like, oh, let's show you a race real quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're
It,
showing you actual gameplay. Normally, if it wasn't gonna come out, they'd probably like, please be excited. Gran Turismo is coming soon. Gran Turismo
yeah.
7 is coming soon.
And that was the
Nah,
thing.
they actually showing it.
And that was the thing. They showed a race on probably one of the most iconic GT original tracks, which was Trial Mountain. Like as soon as I seen turn one, turn like all the little turns that make up that course, I already knew where it was at before they even revealed that it was Trial Mountain. And just like I popped it in a group that I'm in. I popped that trailer up. It just been buzzing, buzzing, buzzing ever since. Cause people were like, "Oh my God, we're finally getting GT back," and people make comments. Hopefully, it ain't. It's a finished product, and not what GT Sport was. Which GT Sport, hate it or love it, it is what it is. You know.
I feel like GT Sport they said that it's going to be a service based game.
Yeah.
That's what from the day one they said that it's like, yo, we're putting this out here, but we're gonna keep on building. It's a service
Oh yeah.
building up for online more competitive service type based game. But PlayStation don't got online games.
As always, as always. But now we get into because I was kind of surprised at PlayStation. They were actually showing not just returning IPs, but they showed new IPs and new IPs they hope to make franchises out of. So that means they ain't just half thought of this and just said, hey, let's throw some stuff together and make it work. So the first one was what Destruction All Stars
First one was
or
Returnal.
yeah, well Returnal, then
Uh,
Destruction All Stars. So
and they show Little Big Planet,
Sackboy
you know,
Adventure
that boy adventure. Then they showed the destruction,
All Stars.
all
Uh,
stars.
okay, so let's go to Returnal from one of the best studios probably ever to make some games in a certain style with Housemarque. Housemarque came out at the launch of PS4 Resogun. People absolutely loved that game. For a launch game, you couldn't get much better than Resogun, honestly.
First platinum. Fun
So
fact.
Housemarque is kind of branching out from their usual isometric or side scroller and going to more third person route. But it still seems like a Housemarque game because from the gameplay they were showing in that trailer, it looks like it's still gonna have that bullet hell influence in there. So I know this was one of your games that you were looking at. You were like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get this." So what are your honest thoughts on what you expect from that game or what you feel like that game is gonna be?
I feel like that game is going to be like a Metroid type, 3D game that pretty much people been wanting, for the longest. Uh, like I feel like that game is going to be super strong, man. It's going to be fun, and people's going to enjoy that. Like I saw the House Mark, signature to see House Mark actually having like a full fledged story driven game. Like every game have a little story in it, but they having something that's going to be really cool with that. You know what I mean? So we'll definitely see how the story pans out, but we all know the gameplay is going to be fire. So that's nothing to be questioning about. But
Oh no, I
I'm
wouldn't.
excited.
I never question Housemarque on the gameplay because they always have that tight and concise with everything they do.
Yeah, and their games don't hitch. You know what I mean? Like it's just the frames is good. Everything is just. I like House Mark a lot, man.
But I
Not every
gotta,
game is a hit, but they make fun games.
but I gotta ask this one question though. Did that character not look a little bit, and I mean just a little bit, like the actress that plays Brienne on Game of Thrones?
She looks a little old though.
I mean, she looks.
Like I was surprised on the character. Who they picked. Like as far it's not a young type of character.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely see, man. I don't know if she looks like I gotta look it again, but I just remember her looking like type old.
Yeah, I mean, it was just whenever I looked at her and when she had her helmet off, it was like, damn, that almost looked like Brienne. I was like, that almost looked like her actress, but it doesn't exactly look like her. Like there was just something that was just a little bit off. But I also want to know about this whole dual color eye situation with one being pretty much black and the other one blue. I want to know what that's all about.
Yeah, you noticed that about her outfit too. Like there's parts of it that was like yellow and the parts of it was like super black.
So,
You know what I mean? But I know it's gonna be a procedural generated game. It put pretty much emphasis on that. Like I
oh
die, the world comes out different,
yeah,
looks different.
cause they
So,
kept they kept showing it like one time you were heading towards a house and it was kind of foggy and on the coastline, and the next thing you know you're in this red desert looking area and everything's kind of destroyed. So it's like, okay, this this is gonna be interesting. Um, but you pointed something out that it was under the PlayStation Studios banner. So do you think Sony picked up Housemarque?
I think they did because like I've been saying, Herman Hulse man went out and was pretty much saying that uh this here's a new IP on the Worldwide Studios. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And the House Smart name pops up with the
Yep.
PlayStation Studio logo popping up. Like they
Yo,
ain't go out and clearly say was we bought them, but I'm pretty sure that they did.
yeah, let me get a shout out real quick. Shout out to Fatal Sherrod joining the chat. How you doing,
Oh,
my
what's
brother?
good, Fatal?
Thanks for coming by. Um, so next we have what Sackboy's Big Adventure.
Oh yeah, man. Yo, I lost my shit when I saw that cause yo, I'm a huge fan of Little Big Planet, man. Like especially like with my nieces and nephews.
Oh yeah,
That's a game that we play a lot. You know what I mean? So I was happy to see that come out.
I was more so happy because I'm like, My daughters are starting to get into gaming a little bit. Like every time I'm sitting here playing a game, they want to come play with me. So I'm like, you know what? That'll be the perfect type of game outside of the little games on the Switch that I got that they can play. To get them acclimated to PlayStation, because I do want them to play PlayStation because it is the greatest place to play.
Absolutely.
But I would love for them to just play that game because then they could just be silly and do what they wanted to and not really have to worry too much about lives and because on Mario you got to worry about lives. On Sack with Little Big Planet or anything dealing with Sackboy, it's not so much lives. It's just have fun and get through it because they'll have a little creative levels. Hopefully, if they do any creative levels where they're just kid friendly, because I'm not putting them on knack. Good lord, they would get frustrated. Um, but I think that'll be more so a pickup for them than me because I'll be focusing on like the Spider Man, the Gran Turismo, stuff like that. And whenever they want to play something, they could go play Little Big Planet or any other little kid games. Cause when I buy games, I don't just buy games for me. Well, 90% of it's me. The other 10% from now on will be about them. Whenever they want to get a certain game, I'll be like, okay, you can get this game. So after we had Little Big Planet Sackboy's Adventure, we had shit. I just lost my train of thought that damn quick.
It's the Destruction All
Yeah,
Stars.
Destruction All Stars.
And that's another game. Those are three games that they put under the PlayStation banner. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, right after Herman whole speech. So
So,
that's interesting too. Like with Sumo Digital, I'll definitely gonna be on the lookout for that because they're not like a huge studio like that. They're known
no.
for like Xbox joints. They did try out Little Big Planet 3.
Yeah.
I think they did a good job Little Big Planet 3, but it definitely had like some little bugs here and there where reviewers said it was game breaking bugs. That's why the reviews was like that. But
So
overall, it
I I think with Destruction All Stars, they're trying to address the whole when people say we don't have enough multiplayer based games. And I know this is going to be hit or miss with a lot of people because a lot of people don't like driving. But I got a feeling this is going to hit that hero esque itch that the trend is now, like Overwatch and everything. You got the hero shooters.
mm-hmm.
This seems to be a in the vein of Twisted Metal, which we all know how Twisted Metal was. It was pretty much a hero battle royale in a sense because every different character in Twisted Metal had different abilities. Now you could all pick up weapons and shoot at each other, but everybody had this innate ability that was only tied to specific characters. So with Destruction All Stars, I'm saying okay, they got this diverse cast of characters, which I know a lot of people are going to draw parallels to something that's on the Xbox side, which we won't talk about that. Well, damn it, I'll say it. Bleeding Edge, because they'll be like, oh, they're trying to do the Bleeding Edge thing, but I'm like, Bleeding Edge is the typical hero shooter formula, only it's set in arena style where you have to just kind of capture objectives. And it's 4v4. While
Funny
this,
thing, the people that's trying to say this is like Bleeding Edge, they don't play Bleeding Edge. Yeah.
yeah. But when I'm looking at Destruction All Stars, I'm looking at the lineup and I'm like, this is at least to me what it seemed like when I looked at it to be like teams of what 8 or 6, like 6 versus 6.
It might be 4v4.
Well, I'm just saying whenever they showed the lineups for each side, it was just like it was
Or
enough.
5v5.
Yeah, it was more than 4v4, but they're taking the typical okay destruction derby style game and saying, hey, you're in this arena, you're fighting, doing all this, but you can get thrown out your car. Okay, you get thrown out your car. What can you do out your car? Oh, you can still fight while you're outside of your
Slide.
car.
Yeah.
And I'm like, What? You can still fight? So I'm like, okay, there's got to be some catch to it because why would they give you the ability to still be able to fight outside of your car unless there was some way to get in another car?
Like you steal people's car
Yeah,
off of them or something like that.
well, because I noticed it when I rewatched the trailer. There was like on top of a platform, there was just a car sitting right there in the middle of it that had like a underglow to it. And I was like, okay, so if you lose your car, can you get back up there and take that car and get back into the,
Or
fight?
the car probably respawns.
Yeah. Oh. Fatal Sherrod said he played Bleeding Edge Day One. It was super trash. Man, I mean, it,
Edge ain't for no. It's not for everybody. I
it,
can I don't think Bleeding Edge is a bad game, but I can already tell you that it's not for everybody.
I can say this. I played Bleeding Edge. I gave it an honest try. I love the soundtrack to Bleeding Edge. That was just
Yeah, the music is not bad. Yeah,
some groovy, lo-fi, good shit going on with Bleeding Edge soundtrack. And I had a couple of good games, but it just didn't sit well with me because I'm like, okay, you launched this game, you only have what one, three tanks, two, two or three like supports, and everybody else DPS. And it was literally what five DPSs or six. Like I didn't feel like it was enough variety to just say, okay, here are the team styles that you can pick because it all boiled down to you're gonna have that one annoying support that's gonna be healing everybody and dealing damage. You're gonna probably have the girl with the Gatling gun or the ninja as your DPSs. Well,
the
actually,
girl with a Gatling gun is so like if you're a good player, you're gonna be all right. But she is a weak character, bro.
yeah,
She's a ranged character with no
no
range.
range. You're gonna have the ninja, that chick, and the guy. I can't think of his name. The guy with the guitar. Nit was it
Yeah,
Nidhogg?
yeah. Nick Hart.
Yeah.
Those are the two best DPS. The samurai is the best character in the game, hands down. He will wipe down. He will wash any tank in a matter of seconds.
Oh yeah,
Nick Hogg too. Nick Hogg is strong as hell. Whatever his name, Nick Hogg or
yeah.
Nihog,
But it's just like
he is
I
strong.
I didn't see the purpose of tanks. Like yeah, the tanks would come in and do some big hits, but in the overall flow of how those games were going, the tanks were ineffective. Like if you're
Yeah.
gonna have a game based on having tanks and DPSs and support characters, your tanks gotta be effective, and your tanks ain't effective. Then what the hell are we doing here?
Yeah, people got to fear the tanks a little bit. You know what I mean?
Like
Like I didn't have no fear for any tank in that game. The one dude I was annoying is the dude that Persona used to use, the El Bastard dude.
yeah, okay, he does
He could be a little annoying.
that little
Yeah.
tornado spin.
Mhm.
Fatal talking about I play Valorant any day over Bleeding Edge and
Play who?
Valorant, the basically League of Legend Counter Strike.
Oh, Riot Games.
Yeah, which
Riot Games.
they got their ass and they stay in fucking trouble. I ain't gonna get on them. Shit.
I think they fired dude
Yeah, they
in the
fired him,
comment.
but it was like, bruh, y'all stay in the damn news on some controversial nonsense, like every single time. But so we had Destruction All Stars. For me personally, it will be a day one just because I like the concept of it. Plus, y'all know we all played Rocket League heavy when that game came out. Rocket League was just that, everybody grouped together, we play as a team, play it, get a couple matches in, then put it down and go to something else.
Hmm.
So I feel like this is PlayStation trying to get into that Rocket League um, style of okay, y'all wanted multiplayer. Well, here goes something that we hope everybody can just pick up, play, have some fun, and start doing things like Rocket League, like Overwatch, stuff like that. Because even with like Ubisoft, their next game is gonna be free to play, but it's also gonna be in the vein of Rocket League where it's a competition. So let's see. The things he hated about Bleeding Edge is the shoddy controls and the game was locked at 60 frames a second.
So the
Well,
controls are shoddy though.
yeah,
Like
I
I even feel like the combat is a little bit wonky because dudes be doing these teleport skips. I don't know what that game. That game, the net code was horrible in that game.
well,
I was playing on PC.
you want to know what was funny, Bar? That I found out they didn't have regional servers. So you would literally just be playing with whoever they match you with, and it'll be like people from Europe and Africa. I'm like, hell, no wonder I'm up here seeing people just skip the hell around. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, because you be chasing somebody and you're like, all right, this person got no dash left. I'm about to watch this person. Then they just skip. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, so like
It was that jump was trash.
like with Bleeding Edge, I gave it a fair shake. I played it for long enough to get a good feel of to see what it was like. I had a little bit of fun, but I was like, this ain't enough fun that I'm gonna keep coming back to and keep playing. So I was like, look, Steam, y'all just gonna toss me that refund. Cause for me right now, I refuse to go back to Game Pass. Like I use Game Pass, but I don't feel like Game Pass is worthy for me to keep paying for, especially if
And
all
it
I
ain't the wave.
especially if all I was doing was just getting the exclusive games, not the multiplats. 'Cause I wasn't doing it for the multiplats. I
Yeah.
was just doing it strictly for like Gears, Forza, Halo, and the way Microsoft was putting out games, it wasn't worth paying a whole year and only get 2 months out of it. You know?
What's funny? I kept my Game Pass because I wanted to support like the Ori devs,
Yeah.
but the game was busted when it came out. Now I feel like I should just cancel that jump because the game that I was pretty much mostly excited for, it was a dud.
Mhm. I
It's for
mean,
me.
yeah, and I completely understand that, but I feel like Game Pass, just like we said before many a times, it's giving a pass for a lot of stuff just to be pushed out and just being accepted for what it is. Just because, oh well, it was only $15, or it was only $1, whatever. Like if you like Game Pass, you like Game Pass. I'm not gonna hate you for it, but me personally, I'm not doing it. Like I even got off of Origin Premiere. I got off of Uplay Plus. Like I'm just
With
not
all of them.
yeah, just like I'm not gonna do that to myself. Like if I really want to play this game, I'll go buy the
Right.
game. That so I mean I gave it a good little run to see how I feel about it, but after using it, I felt like I'm gonna be wasting more money on games that I'll never play because I'm only spending this money just to play X amount of games when they offer me 100 games. So I'm essentially just paying for one game a year, if that sometimes.
Yeah. That
But
first year, this is what they do, man. That first year they hit you with that boom blap. Then that later on they be like, well, it just becomes thinner and thinner and thinner. Then you noticing like, yo, you only have like one or two games that I'm paying a whole year for this service for. It's
yep.
kind of trash.
And I didn't want to get off into the Xbox part of that because this is supposed to be nothing but PlayStation, but the comparison did come up on Twitter, so we had to talk about it. Fatal said Game
Rightfully
Pass
so.
is good for trying out indies without buying them. Eh, yeah, I can see Game Pass being good for that. Like if you're iffy on certain indies, but if you're just and this is just me personally, if I see an indie that I like, I usually just go ahead and buy it.
Yeah. Me
Indies are
too.
like those are the no. I ain't got to worry about am I wasting $60. It's just like $20. Okay, $20. Boom. Hell, I
The thing
spent
is with me, like I don't consider like I buy a game and I don't like it. I just like okay, I'm just disappointed. I don't feel like I'm wasting it because I'm supporting my hobby.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if the game is like busted and broken, then I'm like, okay, yeah, I kind of wasted money on here, but I don't feel like I waste money when I purchase games. That's like my hobby. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand
As
that.
weird as that, as weird as that sounds.
So the next game, let me see. I mean, I'm gonna just bring this up because that was the top game that everybody want to throw this comparison at, even though it's not under PlayStation's banner. Bug Snacks.
Bug snacks.
I, I, look, I know as soon as I seen it, I already knew what Twitter was gonna do. I already knew it. Anybody with two brain cells knew what was gonna happen
Yeah, factuals, man.
when that popped up. Cause
You know
people
the
go,
vibes.
look, cause people gonna be like, "Oh, y'all talk shit about Grounded. Look at y'all with Bug Snacks." Like, it's a totally different thing. Like, we're not sitting here accepting Bug Snacks because we got other games like Ratchet. Oh, I forgot about Ratchet and Clank. I'll come back to Ratchet and Clank in a minute. We got games like Spider-Man, Ratchet and Clank, Gran Turismo 7, Destruction All Stars, and all these other
Yeah.
games. But
I
when
didn't
I,
wasn't bringing up Kina.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, I was like, how you gonna cherry pick this game but not mention this game? Like you up there thinking all we showed at the whole conference was Bug Snacks.
Like that's a first party game.
like,
I mean, like, come on, man.
I mean, y'all went through y'all Xbox show with this, and this, and then had Grounded and said, hey, this is what our team, not a third party, but the people that we picked up, our team is developing. And we get Grounded, which they're going to put out in early access and pretty much say, hey, help us build a story, just like Sea of Thieves.
Which they not gonna buy or support.
Exactly. So I was like, you can't compare that to Bug Snacks, which is just on a PlayStation system, which is also probably going to be on the Xbox as well.
That game look hella weird though.
Oh, it,
It's keeping it a buck.
it does. It does.
I was like, yo, the concept is weird. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even talking about the art style. I'm not feeling the art style like that. Like Octodad, I feel like that was a much more soothing game, not soothing, but a better game to show off
Yeah,
because you actually using the dual shock and all that stuff to move this character around, and it was a silly. But this game just looks like hot garbage. I'm sorry.
Fatal said thanks to Game Pass, I'm in the middle of playing my friend Pedro and Blazing Chrome. Hey, that's cool. You know.
But my fan Pedro, that's a good game.
Oh
Play
yeah.
it on the Switch.
I mean, hey, if Game Pass is working out for you, my brother, it's working out for you. It just for me and my sensibilities, I'd rather just not have to worry about that constraint of, oh, if I don't have Game Pass, go get Game Pass and then just play it for a month and then let it go. Or being under like, oh, I want to be bold and spend money for a whole year and then don't even use a month. That's just me. It like I'd rather just go out and spend the $20, get the game, and be done with it. Cause hell, Epic had a sale the last couple of weeks. Picked up a couple of games from there. Picked up Vampire, The Outer Worlds.
Epic is lit, dogs.
It that might be have to be a whole conversation because people don't realize what Epic does on their sales. Like I've never seen a company say, "Hey, we're gonna spot you $10 for you to go buy a game," and when you go buy that game, if it's over $15, we gonna spot you another $10. Like where they do that shit at? Like
No, they just be giving away free
I
drinks.
mean, yeah, the free.
Right now they're giving away free game. Yo, I got Grand Theft Auto on here free. me see what they gave. They giving away something, a big game away free too. I
They're
gotta see
giving
what it is.
they're
Hold on, let me
giving the
click it.
whole Samurai Showdown arcade collection and Ark Survival Evolved right now. But it's just like I know, people hate on Epic, but y'all be going on there as soon as they drop a new game for free. Just
Y'all library fill up.
yeah, like
Yeah, Ark Survival is up there.
yeah, but
I'm good on that though.
I was. Did you get the Samurai Showdown arcade collection?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm gonna say because I was like, hell, that's a good pickup because all the Samurai
Oh
Show.
no, yeah, I see it. Samurai Showdown, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a good pickup. Like you get all the ones except for the new one because the new one's about to drop on Epic, so that's why they pretty much did it. But just and that was getting off topic, but stuff like that, like I can't hate on Epic for giving me $10 to spend on games and then continuously giving me $10 more. Hell, I got $10 right now I can use on any game in the store. Just but I think the biggest one and probably the most slept on one by people outside of PlayStation as far as what the PS5 could do is Ratchet and Clank.
Oh yeah, that was the most technically impressive
That
game shown as far as gameplay and everything. That was like a technical marvel.
yeah, that game right there, cause it's up on the screen right now. I was like, as soon as I seen it, I was like, okay, this has that Ratchet and Clank vibe, just cause the big eye bug and everything, and it was like, damn, this looked good, even though it was at 1080p 30. Then I went to watch the 4K version of it. I was like, God damn, this shit look
Hmm.
good. And then it was like, okay, they started off with like, hey, we got these rifts that you're going through. And normally when in a Ratchet and Clank game, you get in your spaceship, you travel to the new world. Now they're just like, you don't need to get in the ship. You just go through a portal, completely go to a whole different world. And I know some people will be like, oh, well, you're going through that rift and you're tumbling and it's still, you're doing such and such, so it's got to be loading in the background. But I'm like, even if it was loading in the background, that's too much information to bring up that damn quick just by going through a portal. Like a fully detailed world.
It's a different world, yeah.
That's
It's kind of like you know how Titanfall 2 was.
yeah.
You play that time level, and when you heard about when they was developing that level, like they made like two different worlds or two
Mhm.
different like levels, and they just seamlessly switch it between that.
Yeah.
This is that on crack.
Oh yeah. It's definitely
And
that on.
what was really impressive is when the beginning when he was running that little alien thing, and just how fast that thing was running. Because normally, with a lot of the games, especially this gen, last gen, when you running on animals or you mounting animals and doing all that stuff, yeah, they want to give you the impression that you're going fast, but you're not really going like super fast. You're going like the speed of where the game can pretty much load in all the textures and all the other things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This one, it looked like it was just like boom, we eating through it.
So Fatal said, believe it or not, Sea of Thieves is super popular. Like, if it's popular, it's popular. But just just in the circles that we see, I don't see anybody talking about it. I
Yeah,
don't
them
see
numbers.
anybody.
To be honest with you, like this is not even like just trying to diss Microsoft. I don't really believe their numbers, bro. Their stuff seems like it's flated. Like
Oh,
they will
they.
say that they have all these people playing the game, but where are they getting their numbers? So they not there's no real. I don't know, man. I just can't trust their numbers.
I def and I know it's like it's good because it's investors and everything like that. But sometimes when I hear Microsoft talk about numbers, you just hear the inflation whenever they said like, oh, we got such and such million people on Xbox Live. It was like, and then people would go around talking about, oh, well, we got this many users on Xbox Live, so we gotta have that many Xboxes out there in the market. Like, I don't think so. Now, of course, there is the used market, so we can't, you know, just go off of new hardware sales because the used market is a thing. But as far as just actual, hey, this hardware sold, we can only say that this much is out there in the world. So you got to think about what is Microsoft putting all their games, what platforms Microsoft putting their games on. You have to take those into account because every time you play one of those games, that's considered logging into an Xbox Live account, therefore inflating their numbers, even though people are just not, you know, buying into their platform. They're just buying into their games, pretty much. Just like whenever I log on to Halo Master Chief Collection on Steam, I still have to log in with my Xbox Live account. It doesn't bother me because, hell, I had an Xbox Live account actually before I even had a PSN account. My gamer score doesn't reflect it just because I only played XYZ games. Like, I was a Call of Duty head back then on the 360. I was a Call.
I think that generation, everybody was Call of Duty heads,
Yeah,
man.
it was like
I skipped a lot of games because of Call of Duty.
I was a Call of Duty Gears of War type person with the sprinkle of JRPGs that Microsoft at the time had some kind of ungodly clutch hold on because every time you wanted a JRPG, you had to go get a damn 360. I still didn't get that shit. I don't know what the hell Sony was thinking at that
Sony
time.
had them too, man.
So,
But they wasn't as big as what Microsoft was putting out.
yeah, it was like you had Blue Dragon Lost Odyssey. You had
You,
Tales.
a lot of people, those games, at Blue Dragon and all that stuff, but they don't even know where Blue Dragon is sourced from. They just listing that shit just to list it because it's a Japanese game. But
Yeah.
I doubt that these guys are interested in those games.
Oh,
Blue Dragon was lit like manga and anime, but
yeah.
I doubt they read that or they even watched it.
Well, it was just like, and that was the thing. Like whenever I tell people that Microsoft took a lot more risk with the 360 than they're doing now, because
Yes,
without my without Microsoft's input during the 360 generation, we wouldn't have got Lost Odyssey, which they helped to fund to get Mistwalker off the ground. That's why it was like, bro, they got stuff in the pocket they for those type of games. That's why I find it funny that one generation y'all had those type of games that y'all started off this generation despising with the JRPGs and Jap crap and all that. That's why I found it all kind of funny. I'm like, why are y'all hating on this when last gen y'all had a semi chokehold on some of this stuff because y'all were getting they had the exclusive Tales for a while. Y'all were getting Tales of what was it? Not Tales of Symphonia, but
Yeah, Vesperia
yeah,
exclusive, right?
yeah, they had Vesperia exclusive. What was that?
Crazy.
That game that was kind of like I can't think of, but you were playing as Beethoven in his mind. I can't think of it right now. It was an RPG. It kind of looked like a Tales game, and it almost played like a Tales game. But I cannot think of the name of that game right now. For the level, like they had that exclusive for a while, and it finally came over to the PlayStation. So it's just weird saying that the whole switcheroo this generation, where people didn't want those type of games, and now when we're ending the generation, it's just kind of accepted. Like, oh, we'll take these little, you
You
know,
got you missing the point though, Court. Yeah, they had those games on there, but it wasn't supported.
yeah, they definitely weren't. They were
You know
not
what I mean? That's
because
one thing to have it, but if you're not supporting them,
oh,
then what's the point of it?
well, I mean, it's just like I said when and I think who was it? I can't think of his name right now. Oh, when Graham brought this up, whenever we was talking about it in another podcast, he brought up the fact about something about Microsoft, and I just straight up told him this stuff Microsoft has that they will never touch again. That other companies have to go to Microsoft just to bring it to the community because the community wants it. Like with Mech Warrior, Microsoft ain't touching it. They ain't thinking about touching it. If they did with this whatever upcoming event they got where they're supposed to show first party stuff, if they do it, I'll be surprised as hell. But I ain't betting on it.
Yeah, I got no faith in that company or what they're gonna show in July, just due to their execs and how they tweet when there's a PlayStation event or
Yeah,
a PlayStation like reveal thing.
yeah. Speaking of
Like
that,
no company that's cocky or that have confidence in what they're doing is gonna be tweeting like that. You see, PlayStation don't be doing that.
yeah, that PlayStation be like, "Hey, congratulations on your show.
They
Keep it
don't even say
moving." No, I'm
congratulations.
just saying if
They just
they,
wait till the trailer come out on for the PlayStation on the YouTube and they will upload it.
yeah, but I'm
It seems like with Microsoft they was like, you got to get on top of this as far as they had a bang up of a show. Let's let them know that these games are coming to Xbox right away. You know what I mean? It does felt real tacky.
yeah.
Even though I like the whole going back and forth and you shouldn't be friends like that. It should be like buddy buddy like that. But I just felt like there's a certain way to do things, and that was just like that doesn't bold confidence for me. For if I'm watching the company, I'm like, yo, you just look mad weak right there. Like you have
Oh,
an event coming up, and you still want to act like that.
oh no, it definitely looked like a whole weekended move because I'm like, bruh, Like immediately after all of this showing, you go and say, "Hey guys, we got these games coming to the Xbox Series X as well." Da da da. Like, I mean, everybody. I'm pretty sure everybody knows 2K is also gonna be on the Xbox.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everybody knows that Resident Evil is also gonna be
Man,
on the Xbox. Like,
yeah. Everybody was saying like, all right, so they showing the multiplats now. You know what I mean? And here's this guy talking about, oh, don't forget, kill that back.
don't forget about us guys. Like, well, we ain't forgot about you. We knew the
So
games were going.
that company's in trouble, yo. As far as that brand, Xbox, they are in a kerfuffle. Uh, they're in a big mess. They're in a big. My man, the Jabba people say, yo, Jabba, you in big doo doo this time.
Right.
So
But that was just like on top, and that was the thing. It was a great day. The atmosphere was right, and then you got this sucker just coming out of nowhere saying this. Not. I'm like, come on, fam. Like, you could have just kept that up. Congratulations on the show and kept moving. You had to do your little, oh, let me do my plug on on your shit, even though you didn't say I could do a plug on your shit. Like, yeah.
it was disgusting.
Like, I get it, it's a competition, but at the same time, it's like now you just looking desperate for some attention because ain't nobody giving you none. But I will say they caught my attention today with that Star Wars game that EA is gonna reveal Monday. So they got my attention, even though I got a feeling.
Ooh, what Star Wars game they revealing?
It's called Star Wars. What is it? Squadrons.
Really? Who announced it? Microsoft?
It was up on Xbox. Xbox.com on the homepage. And then
Really?
EA later came out and said, "Yeah, we're gonna reveal this game Monday."
What?
Yeah, it's like basically I'm from what I'm seeing, picking up from it. I got a feeling it's gonna have a single player story. So I'm thinking like Rogue Squadron in a way, but you can either play as the rebels or in the Empire. So I will have to
Oh,
see.
this is a EA reveal.
Yeah,
EA Star Wars.
but it had pre-order on Xbox's front page, but
Okay.
they weren't supposed to have it up yet, so that just kind of leaked out early. So I was like, all right, Microsoft, I see y'all out here trying to pull some leeway your way, even though we know that's gonna be on everything.
I'm waiting for that Star Wars, that Vader Immortal game, man.
Oh yeah,
VR.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got my Move controllers for that. But is there was there any other just and it could be the indie third party, whatever you think, outside of Horizon Zero Dawn? Because I technically wasn't
I think
expecting
that
it.
was everybody's calling that one though.
Yeah, I kind of expected it, even though I was like, I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised in a sense. Because I was like, hell, if you show Spider Man at the beginning, then you either got to have something big at the end. Now, Demon Souls was kind of a like, okay, that was out of. Even though it's been speculated and speculated and speculated that they were doing Demon Souls. And of course, Blue Point was working on something. It kind of lined up, but it was just like, nah, they ain't gonna do Demon Souls. They ain't gonna do Demon Souls. And all of a sudden you see Demon Souls. I'm like, well, shit. They did it. So now we got this situation where, of course, we don't know when Demon Souls is because they did put out a list of what to expect at launch and what's going to be in the future. And, like, they had GT, like, down the line, Ratchet and Clank down the line, which I felt kind of odd. Cause I'm like, damn, they ain't got Ratchet and Clank up there as far as an actual
Bunch.
launch or within 2021. They had it like in 2022. So, but things can change. So who the hell knows? But I honestly feel like for a first showing that everybody was clamoring for, they really did what they had to do. They didn't do no bullshit talking. They just put trailer after trailer after trailer after trailer after trailer after trailer after trailer and just let it, had a little bit of talking, a whole bunch of trailers, and gameplay. And I honestly feel like that is the best format for any show anybody could do. Like, don't sit here and give these long little talks about blah blah blah. Like, we already had the tech talk, so we didn't need no tech talk. We didn't need no spec talk. We didn't need none. Just show us the games.
The only thing that I felt like I had two real gripes with the game with the show. And this is just a Bari issue. I kind of wanted two USBs
Oh
on
yeah,
the console in the front. I definitely got to see how that back is looking, see how those ports are looking. I'm pretty sure that there's gonna be like a SSD port in the back and all that stuff. Cause that's what Mark Cerner hinted towards.
well,
And they didn't really show anything like VR, like talk about VR.
well,
Then that's a talking point they should have got down there as well. But it's still a long time for it to launch, so they got time to talk about that stuff.
yeah, they do. But it was funny because I was looking at it again. And I noticed the Type C and then like the USB 3.1. But I also noticed there's
Buttons,
oh that's the power.
buttons instead of that touch joint that was on
Yeah,
the PS3.
I mean as much as I love the ones on the PS4 now is yeah I would prefer some just
Yo, you know what? I'm gonna keep the PS buttons. I don't even use because I power the console with the
oh yeah with the
controller,
controller.
and I
Yeah.
don't have any like physical stuff, so I don't have I haven't used a disk drive yet.
And see, that's the weird thing. That I think this is gonna be my final point before we close out the podcast. Which one are you getting, the disc or the digital?
We're in that digital, man. Hands down, bro. I want everybody to go out there and get that disc. So when that digital is just rightly available,
I ain't
it's
got
all
no
mine,
problem.
man.
Yeah,
No issue.
and like with me, like I'm getting the collector's editions of The Last of Us 2 and Ghost, but I'm also buying the digital editions. So
Oh
for
yeah.
me, it's kind of like, yeah, I would go for the physical version, but I'm like, I never used the damn disc drive on my Pro.
And you know what's funny? Like I'm a type of person where I don't like to limit myself. So even though I don't use it, I will still do it.
Hmm.
But this generation, I'm going to treat it differently because if I don't get be cheaper because that this is not there, right? Regardless if it's $50 cheaper or whatever it is,
Yeah.
that leaves me up to free up to get something else like an accessory. So that's how I'm thinking about it now. You know what I mean? But we'll see.
And that's the way
Never know. I might get the one with the disc. You never know.
I
But so
I'm
far that disc looks sexy.
yeah, I might still get the one with the disc drive. I don't know but I got a feeling in my heart I'm going to get the discless version. The only reason, like just recently, the only reason I ever used my disc drive on my Pro is because I had a freak storm come through. It literally wiped my whole hard drive on my PlayStation Pro. Like it did something janky. I had to reinitialize the whole system, start from scratch. So I'm re-downloading all my games. Now, luckily, my external was fine, so everything on my external was still good to go. But everything on my internal was gone. Of course, all my saves were in the cloud.
Yeah.
And Horizon was one of the games that got wiped off the drive. And I was like, because I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, I want to play Horizon. I'm looking, I'm like, Horizon ain't on here. I see God of War, I see The Last of Us, but Horizon ain't on here. So I'm like, shit, I gotta go download it. And I ain't feel like downloading it, but I was like, wait a minute. I got the physical version sitting over here from my special edition that I never opened. So I just went on, cracked it open, slit, popped disc in, and let that sucker do his whole little thing, and bam, I'm playing Horizon. But that's literally the only time since I had the Pro that a disc has went into that sucker. And I'm talking about from when the Pro launched till this year. That Horizon disc is the first disc to go in there. Now my original PlayStation, yeah, I used disc on there because I started out with disc. But then it was like once I started buying more digital, I was like, man, I'd rather just have digital because I don't feel like getting up sometimes to switch out a disc. So
I
next,
haven't I haven't used a physical disc on my original PlayStation or on the Pro. Ever.
so and that was the thing.
and
I
I
was
and I the thing is I have what you call a disc in here. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
and that's the thing. Like I was the type of person to mix, get some digital, get some physical. But then it got to the point it was like I'm doing a hard drive upgrade, and then I'm getting external. I was like, hell, if I'm doing all this, the space that I'm taking up is gonna be the same regardless. So why am I wasting physical space when I could just waste digital space? Because yeah, it's cool to have a good collection of 500, 600 games and just stacks and stacks of cases. That's cool for some people, but for me, I'm like, look, bro, I ain't got that much room, and I'm not gonna sit here and make more room to house 500 to 600 damn physical games in my house. My wife would fucking kill me. Then she would actually know how many games I have, and I don't want her to
So
know
that
that.
because that's the thing too. Like with PS3, I had so much like disc and all that stuff, and like I'm just more like you know I want everything looking modernized in my house. So the less like disc and all that stuff, you know what I mean. So I can have other things be visually shown.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It looks for me like I do. Like I said, I do like steel cases. Like I have a whole bunch of steel cases right here. You know what I mean with games in them, but most likely sometimes even with those I usually give the games away. You know what I
Mm,
mean? It's like a family member or somebody like, yo, you can have this because I already have the game digitally.
yeah, and that's kind of like the same thing I did with whenever I got her a digital edition to go with that because I sent my special edition of Michi and Tim out in Texas. So
Mm-hmm.
it was just one of those things. It was like, and then after time went on, it was just like, okay, digital didn't have. Well, I started off with disc, and then everything just started slowly fading away from disc, and now PC is pretty much 90% digital. You find a damn actual physical PC game, you don't probably you literally found a diamond in the rough.
I got my original uh Heroes
Mm,
physical PC disc right now, yo.
yeah,
I don't know where I can use them, but I have them right now, bro.
I mean, like even most modern PCs right now, like the cases that you're getting, they don't have disk drives on them.
I'm saying there's no optical drives in.
So it when people were saying, "Oh, why would you want to get an all digital console?" I'm like, "Cause that's pretty much where it's going now. Like that's just the trend. The PC's been doing it for a while. I was already expecting the consoles to do it. I mean, yeah, I get it. You technically you technically with air quotes don't own something that's digital, but hell, they could lock you out of your damn whole system too. So do you really own the physical? But with all that said, what would you give if you had to give the whole conference a scoreboard? What would you give it?
Oh, I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10, man. Pacing was great. It did have its little, down, with some of the indie games that were showing back to back, which this is cool to show indie games, but I just felt like some of them they just weren't hitting for me. But
Yeah.
that's only the fact that there was no like real VR talk there, like
Mm.
showing like a VR game or anything like that was my real big gripe. But everything that I really wanted from the show, I got. You know what I mean? Got a console reveal, got a Spider-Man game, Horizon there. You know what I mean? Ratchet and Clank was there. Gran Turismo 7 is show. You know what I mean? Like it was just a bang of a show, man.
Oh
And then
yeah.
the new IPs look good too. So nothing really I can really complain about other than like just trying to go for the little, little things here and there. But overall, great show. I like the teasing throughout the whole show. Like, what I mean? Everybody was talking like, yo, they're gonna show the console and then show the boot up screen and all that stuff. So it was a fun time, man. I definitely enjoyed my time watching the stream. So 9.5 out of 10 for me.
All right. And for me, I, yesterday it was just that astronomical number, 100 out of 10. But today, after just getting off the hype and just like literally breaking it down and what they shown, I would probably myself give it like, yeah, 9.5 is about where I would put it. You got, you got because they said they had been saying at the time that they were going to try to make it to where it was easy to transition from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5. And they put out one of the games that I don't personally care about at the beginning of the show with Grand Theft Auto 5 because that's just
Oh
going to be
yeah.
another one of those games that, yeah, it's going to bring over people. So now that people know, hey, we got Grand Theft Auto 5 and I want to get on PlayStation 5 and I ain't going to lose no progression or anything like that, it's just going to be a seamless transition, then, that's a good little boost for people to be like, hey, if I get a PlayStation 5, I'm not losing anything.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that was more like a common sense thing.
yeah.
I won't even slight them on that because that's the most popular game played on PlayStation. So, is bound to happen where they have to talk about GTA 5 online and letting people know like, yo, it's coming over. Don't worry, guys, you're gonna be good.
Oh yeah,
So
it.
if you look at it, is like most popular game, you're gonna have you're gonna have GTA up there. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's
Look at
like
that.
out of the
GTA 5 is number two, second to FIFA
yeah. But I was
on
gonna
PlayStation.
say, in like just in terms of sale, hell, I think it's what right behind Minecraft is the highest selling. Well, it's like Minecraft, Tetris, and then probably GTA right behind it because GTA is literally on everything. Damn near, it's been on multiple generations now, and it's gonna be on its third generation coming up. So I'm like, it's just gonna be MPDs all again, just GTA 5 for no damn reason. But honestly, I feel like the messaging that they did give this conference, it was well paced. Everything they had it segmented correctly. You start off the pacing, yeah, they did have a little lull point in the middle, but they started off strong. Then they had like, okay, now we're gonna showcase some indies. We're gonna show you some third party stuff. Um, I wish their messaging would have been clear a little bit, like on the whole Spider-Man thing. Even though anybody with common sense would have known, okay, this is more than likely just a standalone title like Lost Legacy. Even though people took to Twitter and when it was all of a sudden confusion, confusion, confusion. I didn't think PlayStation would do this, but next time just clarify it from the jump so you won't have people sitting here arguing with devs again, getting self-inflicted L's instead of just waiting. They up here assuming, you know what I mean?
Wait, yo, bro,
What?
how do you wait? So I'm looking at MLB the Show right now,
Uh huh.
and they said they got content drop for a Ken Griffey card.
Oh yeah, that's
Huh?
probably the what they it's basically their ultimate team. So they probably did because I got an email from them. They said I had like 10 packs out. They sent me for some odd reason. So
Oh,
Kim,
so that's not like an official card. That's just like the
yeah,
the
the in
the
game,
ultimate.
yeah, the ultimate team card.
Oh, I was about to say because I was yo, bro.
I
I'm
know.
hovering around this, and I was like, if they giving away a Griffey card, it's a wrap. Because the last MLB I bought it was because of Ken Griffey,
Oh
and
yeah,
I haven't even played the game.
yeah. That was what was that? 18, I think. Had Griffey.
That was 17.
Okay, so I was off by a year. Yeah, cause I knew you had bought one just because it had the what
Yep,
was it
because I
the
got the Griffey case and the hat, the
mm-hmm.
collector's edition.
Then you give that game to somebody, you just like, I just want that.
Yeah, I gave it away, and I gave away the content that came to Jamel. Jamel took the
Yeah,
content.
but yeah, overall, this has been a really really good week for PlayStation. Of course, they said we got more information we're gonna get later. Hopefully, it's because I think they probably won't give us more information until after Ghost drops. Cause I kind of got a feeling they're gonna wait until like they get close to something dropping or after something drops to kind of give more information on certain things. Cause you notice they
I
did.
feel I feel I feel next week we gonna get a teardown.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know what I
since
mean?
they revealed the console, we should be getting that teardown pretty soon. So, and that way we'll actually know why the PlayStation looks the way it does. Cause I got a feeling the way they designed it has a lot to play into the cooling solution too.
And it's
Because
a tall boy.
yeah, cause I was up there looking at it like, oh, it don't look that tall, and then they got it, based off of just taking the dimensions of a set standard side disk drive and a USB port, and then measuring it out from there. I'm like, damn, that sucker is pretty tall. It's I
That's
mean,
why I'm getting that digital and I'm standing that thing up nice and proud.
oh yeah, the digital is coming home, despite what my wife says. I'm buying it. She ain't spending no money on it. But no, but yeah,
Happy
man.
wife, happy life, man.
Look, she gonna
So
be happy. Hell, I just bought her a whole new bed. She be good. Hell, she can let me have my PlayStation. Keep me at the house. Keep me loyal. But man, it's been a great week. Now next week I'm gonna be on blackout mode, just enjoying The Last of Us
oh
2.
yeah,
I
that's a
mean,
fact.
the only time you'll see me is when I stream GT Sport on Sunday for my Sunday race. Other than that, I'm not even streaming The Last of Us. Don't ask me to stream it because it ain't happening. I'm I want everybody to enjoy that. Now, after I beat it one time, after that, it is open set. In fact, I'll make this promise right now. I won't stream The Last of Us into where everybody can get through it, and then I'll stream it.
Bro, this game is 74 gigs, bro.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be hefty. So, but anyway, guys, we about to cut the podcast here. Barry, give us your outro, my brother. One time for the mini council reunion, cause
Oh yeah,
everybody
man.
didn't show up, but hey, we still had a good time of it.
Oh yeah. We definitely gonna kick him in the shin. But it's cool though, man. It's cool to sitting out here talking to my boy. But yeah, man, it's been a pleasure, man. Oh, 76 gigs, my bad, not 74. But yeah, it's boy J Bar is definitely a pleasure. You know what I mean? Definitely tune into my man Stealth Guy Gaming. More streams to come from this guy. I see him putting in the hard work, man. So yeah, definitely tune in. Uh PS5, man. I'm about to just lay down and pretty much just watch some reactions and watch Digital Foundry or read their article on their thoughts on the PS5 and watch their thoughts on the PS5 as well. But that's pretty much what I'm going to do for the rest of the night.
It's always a pleasure to have you on the podcast. And if you don't, go subscribe to my man J Barry right now. Go follow him on Twitter and all that good jazz, cause I've been knowing this man going on 7 years now, almost 8. Since
Since what, like early 2013 or not? I think I knew you before
yeah,
2013,
it was a little bit
like
before then.
12.
Yeah, but it's been a long man. It don't even seem like it's been that long though. Like it really don't.
Yeah, they're like 8 years.
But yeah, y'all go subscribe to my man. He puts out great content. And y'all hit that like, hit that share button on this stuff, man, because he really does put out guides on a lot of RPGs that people like. Oh well, I want to get interested. Like, hey, you got a whole man right here putting out guides on boss battles.
Yeah,
Go like that. Like, if y'all want to know how the Final Fantasy works, you got the Final Fantasy God right here that y'all can go
yeah.
to, especially Final Fantasy.
I'm definitely gonna like run through Final Fantasy because a lot of the games that's on the PS4 now, I haven't really like picked them up yet. But I know these games like like the back of my hand since PS2 days and all that stuff. So I definitely want to run through those games again and upload the boss battles. So I might restart my Final Fantasy 10 playthrough one of these days and upload those. But we'll see.
Yeah. But anyway, again, thank you, Bar, for coming by. And for everybody in the chat, for Fatal, thanks for coming by, my friend, keeping the chat lively. And with that, this little mini reunion of the Council Podcast has concluded. I will see y'all in let me see, Sunday for